Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host, LovelyCheesePizza here. I apologize for that. You're gonna have to bear with me here, because I'm still really sick. However, I gotta do something more than just laying on the couch and doing homework, because I am going so stir crazy over that I think I might almost be clinically insane. So, with that said, what we're gonna do this evening on Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, the Ultimate Driving Simulator, with my wonderfully awesome, horrible voice, is we're gonna do Midfield Raceway and Apricot Hill, which apricots sound delightful right now, but I'm not going to eat them because the only thing that I have eaten in the last 2 days is Taco Bell and chicken noodle soup. Okay, laughing is a bad idea. So, let's get into this. Last time, we took down the annoyance that was the test course, because for some reason the racing gods decided to, grant me a pardon after I got seemingly just pummeled into submission, very much like the White Sox did for the second day in a row. Those fucking idiots. But hey, what are you gonna do? When you're not ready to be in the postseason, I guess you're just not ready to be in the damn postseason. I'm gonna go on a very small rant here. I'm gonna try and not make this about sports because I've already endured enough of the nightmare today. But I really, really hate the age of analytics in sports, where there's like an expanded stat for fucking everything. I mean, you've got like literally like 1,000 different stats that they use to compare people, and different types of positions that players should be in when they're playing on defense because of how people bat. And it is like, I think about the way that baseball used to be, where it's just like, you go out on defense and you just fucking, everybody lines up in their position and you just play the damn position, and if a guy gets a hit off of you, then good on that guy. And like there are certain situations where, like, if the bases are loaded and you're trying to prevent a run, then yeah, the infield plays in, or the outfield shifts a little bit if a left-handed batter comes up or whatever. You don't do like these crazy ass things now where a left-handed batter comes up and the entire fucking infield, with the exception of the third baseman, all goes to the right side of the infield. And it became a severe problem in today's game with the White Sox against the Astros that changed the outcome of the game, aside the fact they gave up 5 runs in the 7th inning. But, even people that aren't baseball fans, I've noticed, were just like, why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. And I'll run it down really quick. So, there are runners on first and second with 1 out, and a left-handed batter comes up, and he's predominantly a pull hitter. So, the analytics would say, well, put the shift on. And so they did that. And so the shortstop was lined up where the second baseman would normally be, and the second baseman was in short right field, and the first baseman was playing, regular first base or whatever. And, the guy ends up getting a hit, and he hits a ground ball right to where the shortstop would have normally been had they just played normal defense. And a run ended up scoring on that play because there was fucking nobody there. And they went on to score 2 runs that inning to tie the game at 2, instead of it being an inning-ending double play, and the White Sox are still ahead 2-0. So just like that particular play changed the entire complexion of the whole game. And God, I hate that. It just really bothers me. It's just, why wouldn't you just, especially if you have runners on base, like if you're gonna do a weird gimmicky thing like that, why wouldn't you just do it when there's nobody on base? Like if you want to mess around with stuff like that, then do it when it's not a high stakes situation and there's nobody on base. That's all I gotta say about that. Other than that, the White Sox are just gonna die. I've already accepted their fate at this point. and I'm too sick to care right now, so it is what it is. But anywho's, I had something that I've been saving for this occasion because I've been sick all week. But one of the mornings that I woke up, you know, on my own deathbed essentially, because I've gotten the flu, and I got it from Harrison because he came down with the flu because Haley had the flu, and so it's kind of gotten passed around everybody at this point. But I got it really bad. I've been down for a week essentially, almost at this point, and but I woke up and I saw, I don't remember whether I saw it on like a Facebook group or something, or some sort of gaming group that I follow somewhere, that this guy had posted some sort of thing saying that he wishes, and I'll try to quote this as well as possible, but he said something to the extent of, I wish that games had a function where you could just skip a boss fight whenever you want, so that you don't have to fight them. That way, if you're having a problem fighting them, that you don't have to sit there and do it over and over and over again, and you can just get on with the game, because some people don't want to die over and over and over again, and so you could just skip it and then come back to it later. And the first thing that I thought to myself, and that is just a horrible idea. Like, why? What's the point of even having the boss fight in the first place if you can just skip it whenever you want? Like, that's not forcing you to have to adapt and get better at the game. Like, imagine, if you will, I mean, this is like the perfect example of this situation in motion. Imagine if you're playing Dark Souls and you end up getting to a certain boss that you have a particularly hard time with. Take my situation, for instance, back when I did Dark Souls, when I had to fight Quelaag, the spider bitch, like 1,000 times. Imagine if I had, you know, died the first like 5 times, and I just decided, you know what, instead of me adapting and learning how to get better at this fight, let me just skip it and just go on with the rest of the game. You know, I can just come back to it later. But then, what if you don't? And you just have missed out on that part of the game and missing the satisfaction of, you know, defeating a boss that was giving you trouble and learning how to hone your skills. Because, I mean, the entire point of a boss fight in most games in the first place is designed explicitly to test your skills for the things that you've learned up to that point in the game. Like, it's basically saying, hey, how well have you retained the things that you've learned up to this point? And we're also going to, you know, potentially give you like a major plot point here. Or it may just be kind of like Dark Souls, where there's really no story at all and you're just kind of going along with it, but it's still designed to be a test of your skills. And, you know, if you're ready to progress beyond that point, that's how I've always interpreted boss fights to be. And I feel like it would defeat the purpose of so many different games if you could just skip it entirely because you're frustrated at the fact that you've died a few times and you're not willing to, you know, change your strategy in favor of just trying to brute force and button mash your way through everything. It just, to me, that seems like it defeats the purpose of video games. You know what I mean? So that was my point on that. I don't know whether, you know, everybody agrees with that or not. Some people just want to have a, you know, hyper-casual gaming experience, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, and by the way, you know, put your guys' thoughts on this matter in the comments if you'd like. I'm interested to see what people's feedback on this particular point is. I have not talked this much in the last few days, so if my voice box starts to get a little wonky, I apologize, and if I have to pause the game to cough a few times, I apologize. But we're doing this the hard way. What I think would be a really smart idea for games to implement, in favor of trying to strike a happy medium with this idea, is doing, I think that both God of War and I think Dante's Inferno also did this. Ironically, the same style of game is that if you're in a boss fight or I think even if it's just in like a particular area in general that you've died on multiple times, you know, in a short amount of time, that they offer you the option to bring the difficulty level down for, I don't know if it's just for from that point forward, or if it's just for that particular boss fight in general until it goes to like a cutscene or something, and then it puts you back to what your original difficulty was. Like, that, I think, is a really good idea that would help people with that particular idea of this game is too hard, I just want to be able to skip it and move on. Instead of just skipping the content and not having done it at all, you can still have the experience of encountering the boss and having the satisfaction of beating it. But if it's too hard, then, you know, give the option of bringing down the difficulty level a little bit so that you can still have, you know, the joy of beating the boss, and that way you're not losing out on the content. That's just my idea. I think it would be pretty cool. I think that a lot of games could really be enhanced by something like that. There's a lot of games that are really, really hard. Like, imagine, you know, if Battletoads has one difficulty. So I was going to say, like, imagine if they could dumb down the turbo tunnel a little bit for you, but then I remember that game only has one difficulty level, so that does not work there. But, you know, like, if you could have, you know, Dark Souls, if you have a way to tether it down a smidge so that if you've died on the same boss like 70 times or whatever, then, you know, give that option. But make it so that it doesn't just pop up after the first time that you die. Make it have like a minimum, like the God of War games do, where you've died X amount of times before you provide that option. That way you're not just instantaneously giving somebody the easy way out. You're still having them try to figure it out and use their instincts a little bit. So, I don't know. This may be just entirely conjecture here, and I'm just throwing stuff out into the ether, and it may sound entirely stupid to people, I don't know. But I've been kind of like thinking on that for the last couple of days, and I just wanted to put that out there for you guys to potentially enjoy and see what your thoughts are on it, see if, you know, if I'm part of the majority in that, or if I'm the minority and everybody thinks I'm out of my damn mind. Who knows? So that's just the way that's gonna go. Oh, here we go. Alright, well, we've only got 6 laps left in here, and we're kind of as expected, we're just ripping him a new one, and that brings me a lot of joy here. I needed something to make me feel human today, because, I mean, virtually since Tuesday, I mean, not only have I gotten, like, literally no sleep for the last, like, week and a half, but just, you know, being up with Harrison while he was sick, you know, thinking that maybe he would come down with, like, croup or something, because he started getting that really, like, deep, barky type of cough, and he had a fever, and I had to call the 24-hour pediatric hotline to try to assess whether he needed to come into the clinic or not at, you know, 4:30 in the morning, and they decided, you know, he could probably wait until later, and so, you know, I woke up after getting like an hour of sleep, and he's still yakking his brains out. He wasn't puking, he was still coughing his lungs out, and his brain matter was spewing all over the walls. And so I decided to take him in, and they said, oh, he's just got a really bad cold. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, dude's coughing like the end of the world is happening right now. And I'm like, no, I mean, he doesn't have croup, he doesn't have, you know, labored breathing, he doesn't have an ear infection or strep or COVID or anything like that. So, oh god, I said the word. I hope they don't I hope they don't like exile my video for that. I forgot that you're not supposed to actually like say the word, otherwise they'll kill you for saying it. That's why Game Grumps called it the Backstreet Boys reunion tour. Oh god. Oh man, I'm getting hot already. Yikes. I think my dinner might consist entirely of popcorn tonight. I think that might be the only thing. That and a ruby red squirt. Yeah. I already had an orange crush today. I had one of those with my Taco Bell. It was lovely. I was particularly enjoying that. It was some of the some of the most seemingly insignificant things like that it'll take my day of feeling like absolute shit, which is really what it has been for a while, and just give me like a little glimmer of hope that, you know, maybe for the span of about 5 minutes while I'm drinking this, that, you know, it's not going to suck quite so bad. I think this is probably the prime time right now to get a quick little tire swap. I mean, we're ahead by well over a minute, so we might as well get some clean rubbers. Which, speaking of that, I saw something. One of the weirdest relics from internet history. I saw it today, and I can't even believe that this was even a thing to begin with, but it was. There's a guy that I follow on Twitter. He lives down in Eugene, and he posted this weird relic that apparently was distributed by MySpace back in the day. For those of you that remember what the hell MySpace even was, the ultimate social network before Facebook took over the world and ruined everybody's lives. They apparently had some sort of like student body type of, you know, mega group that was supposed to be like keeping high school and college kids safe, I'm assuming, because they must have had some sort of like conference or, you know, big meeting or like regular meetings or something that was called MySpace Student Body, and they used to give out condoms to kids so that, you know, they could practice safe sex and all that type of stuff, or, you know, all that jazz, which is perfectly fine in my book. But the way that they marketed those condoms on the wrappers, because they were like individualized ones that were made by MySpace, or at least packaged by them. They weren't just like, you know, like a bowl of Trojans in a bowl just sitting at the meeting like, hey, go and take a bunch. They were like individualized ones that had like the MySpace logo in there. And the tagline for it was the biggest backfire that you could possibly have. It was so funny, because I know that they didn't at all think that this may not be a good idea to put this there. But it said, MySpace Student Body, sign in, get off. Sign in and get off. First of all, what do you mean by that? Because I don't know what they're implying by that. There's a couple of ways you can look at it. And the first thing that I thought of is probably what most everybody else thought of. And it's like, oh guys, your marketing department really did you dirty. Because that is the wrong thing to put there. Like, they're making it sound like MySpace was a porn site. Just sign into MySpace and you can get off now. Oh god. That's such a horrible backfire. I'm sure they had a very noble purpose for that, but oh boy. That was not a good idea. The coughing was well worth it. I saw that and I was like, you've got to be joking. Oh god, I can feel another cough coming up and I don't want it. Oh, that one had all the phlegm in it. Oh man, that's not the one. Oh, my chest hurts. Oh man, dude, my chest feels like I've gone like about 12 rounds with the devil. I don't know why it's the devil. I'm assuming he has a very, very, very high quality body blow with those 1 pound gloves. Because my chest just feels like it's gone through the damn ringer. I feel like someone pulled me through a keyhole sideways or something. Oh, okay. I'm doing okay. I've only got... Whoa. Okay. I'm trying to look over at my screen capture to see what I'm at for time, because I may have to cut this video a little short. I don't know if my voice can handle anymore. I'm only at like 20 minutes. But I am doing this, you know, quote-unquote handicapped. I'm doing it in a sense that my voice is strained. sick, and then I'm probably really not up for a, you know, standard length video. It's more in the 30-minute area like I've been doing, but at least we'll have gotten this race done nice and comfortably. Didn't have to stress out too much on it. Always good. I got to talk about a couple things that I've been wanting to talk about. I'm glad that I'm glad that the MySpace thing came up, because that I just found out about today. I didn't even think about it until the moment presented itself. Oh man, I feel so phlegmy right now. This may be one of those things where I'll have to edit it and upload it in the mornings. I don't know if I have the energy left to deal with all this. We'll just have to see. I did. It's kind of crazy. Like I built my desktop computer like 7 years ago, and when I built it, you know, the thing was like a $2,000 computer. And it was way ahead of its time. Like I had some serious fucking shit in it. It's obviously, you know, some things are outdated a little bit and could stand some upgrading, but I feel like it's still, by comparison, better than a lot of today's computers. And I went to do the PC health check to see, you know, if it's compatible for Windows 11, and it totally isn't. I can't believe it. It's just like, what the hell could I possibly not have in this computer that I have to in order to run and just a standard operating system? Like, what the hell are they doing with Windows 11 that's so much different than Windows 10 that it requires like these specific high-powered specifications? Like, my laptop can handle it, which I would totally expect because I only had it for a few months. But but God, I mean, my desktop, it's not that outdated. Like, the shit is crazy. But apparently, can't cut it. It doesn't cut the mustard, as they would say. So, that's just all it's gonna be, I suppose. So, oh well. I guess I'll just have to run the horrible, you know, I mean, at least it's not like I'm, you know, running Windows Vista on this damn thing. I mean, if I were doing that, I might as well just take the whole computer and throw it away. Because Windows Vista was just like a plague upon the humankind. Except for, you know, one thing that I actually thought was kind of cool about Windows Vista, but it was only, I think only Windows Vista. Wow, we almost had 2020. We had 2020-21. That's crazy. Man, that would have been really cool if it was 2020-0202. That would have been great. I missed it by that much. So close. But it was something that Windows Vista Ultimate had, where you could actually, and it was horrible for like the performance of your computer because it used up a lot of resources to run it, but you could actually run like a video as your background instead. I mean, obviously they have programs now like, you know, like Wallpaper Engine, where you can have, you know, moving like animated wallpapers and stuff, because I totally have the Matrix code on my desktop, and it's awesome. But back then, like, that was, as far as I know at least, that was like one of the first times that you could have like a moving background, and I thought it was cool. I had Windows Vista Ultimate on one of my old HP computers back then, and I was the only person out of my group of friends that had something like that, and people were just like, oh, this is so cool. And I don't know, it's a nifty little thing. I mean, the rest of the operating system was pure bullshit, but I mean, that one thing, it salvaged the whole experience for something so seemingly dumb. But what are you gonna do? Hey, we're back up to 89. Sick. Oh, that makes me happy. There was so much purpose behind that win. We may get back to 90% yet. As good as that is. Alright guys, my voice I think is toast right now, so I think we're gonna call it good right here. But when we come back on the next installment of Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, the Ultimate Driving Simulator, where hopefully my voice will be in a little bit better shape than this, we'll go and take on the other race that was in there. I don't remember which one it is now, but we'll do that one. And we'll have finished that little cup challenge, and we'll move on to whatever tickles my fancy. I don't know why I just thought of the SpongeBob quote. where Squidward walks up to SpongeBob. I've come for your pickle. It's so stupid. I love that quote, though. Oh, God. All right, well, now that I think I'm going nuts, I think I need to go. So, with that said, my friends, this is your host, Lovely Cheese Pizza Things, saying thank you guys for watching. I don't know why I keep doing this, but whatever. And I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody, and have a good one. Bye.